All right, we have finished up lunch.
So, do you get a review of your burger now?
Yeah, well, we both had the Boneyard Burger. Did you have American cheese or?
I got cheddar.
Cheddar. That's what I had. Cheddar too. I give it a thumbs up. It was a good burger.
Oh yeah,
I give it a big
and that's what I had too. And the onion rings.
And you had the okra. Now, fried okra is one of those things you either like it or don't like it.
If there's fried okra on the menu, I get it.
Okay.
I like okra in general. Whatever.
I had the onion rings. The onion rings are an A. And I had the chicken wings.
You had 4 different
I had
sauces.
4 different kinds of sauces.
Out of those 4 sauces,
the
which
habanero
one?
was a little bit hotter than I thought it was going to be.
It was good.
It was good. The regular buffalo was good. The teriyaki was good. And the Carolina mustard was good.
All right. So out of all 4 sauces, which was your favorite?
Just a regular medium. That was the best, I think.
Medium. Habanero too hot. Yeah, I don't think we were disappointed at all with everything.
No. And they're big wings, too. Real big.
Yes. So that was good, and the okra was good. Now, see, my wife is picky when it comes to okra. But
So tell us what Wolfspeed is doing to Siler.
So far,
Yeah.
I haven't seen much at all. To be honest with you, more people. So when we left off, I did mention one thing. I have a partner in the Chatham Rabbit downtown Siler City. We have a coffee shop in downtown Siler, and I can say, I can look at from a business projection. We've been, year over year, just grow. We've been there for 6 years now, and with Wolfspeed, it's been continued growth. You'd think at some point you kind of level off because we've got somewhat of a captive audience here in Siler City. Right. It continues to grow, so we're obviously seeing more new people come in. What's really interesting is it's not. You might think it's folks there coming in and grabbing a coffee or coming in the morning and having meetings or whatever. It's people that are here. We're getting new people that are moving here and live here. It's really interesting. Brooke Simmons is my partner. She's really good about asking people like, well, hey, I've never seen you in town before. Why are you here? And people are moving here. They really are. I think they're still kind of moving outside of town. A lot of people doing organic flower farm.
Yeah, it is.
Things like that. But
one of the things that we diagnosed appreciation, real estate, median home appreciation map, and Chatham County was like the darkest blue out of the whole entire state. But then we had another map that we didn't go over that was just Chatham County. Siler City itself is dead even as far as like appreciation, depreciation right now, year to year. But like the Silk Coat and believe it or not, south of Siler City, just south, that is dark blue. It was the darkest area in the county.
yeah, we may have to have another discussion about that in a couple of months and take a look at that because we did take a look at the state map, and there's an article out there, the videos out there about average home over 600K here in Chatham County.
We're not that high in Siler yet, but it's still so much. I mean, Nick and I saw it just a few years ago. You could buy a brick ranch for like 85 to 120. You're not getting anything under 250, 300 right now. So that's really gone up a bunch.
the south side of Siler too, to keep in mind, this might be a small part of it, and you guys may have talked about this at some point too, but some of that 130 of Chatham LLC, the Tim Sweeney investment, he's got a lot of property tied up along the Rocky Rivers, again, up south of town. I don't anticipate a ton of development in that area right away. So again, the properties with a little bit of acreage, they're going up in value because it's less and less of those. It's just getting to be a harder and harder area to.
Yeah, I think he's got.
I moved here because I kept telling people I'm going further and further out, trying to get more and more land. And this is where I had to go. I had to come out to Chatham County, Siler City. That's a move. I don't know where you go.
Right.
Just
Southwest Chatham.
Keep going that way,
Southwest Chatham. And really, it's starting to get where if you want the acreage, you have to go to Southern Randolph or Moore County now. But yeah,
nobody wants to go to Moore County.
Nick said that.
That was for a very
I do a
specific
lot of real
person.
estate in Moore County. I love Moore County. Moore County.
That was for you, John.
That is a personal opinion. It is not representative of the opinion of the 3 guys from Pittsboro having lunch.
Oh, Nick, what do you think Siler City is in need of now? So we've had tremendous growth. There's a lot of, you guys brought in the coffee shop. We've got a lot more things going on. But what do we still need?
It's interesting. I mean, where we are right now, this is still a big part of it too. Downtown Siler City is still not much going on down there. If you bring a friend or family into town, it's like, hey, let's go downtown.
It's the post office and Ace are the big.
And the coffee shop.
Yeah, the coffee shop.
What coffee shop is that?
I should have gotten a stamp or something put on the cup before I came in there. But in all seriousness, the coffee shop, I mean, I'm very proud of what Brooke's done with that place because it really, the whole idea behind that, we say right on the name, is coffee and community, and we're really intent on having that community aspect of a coffee shop. It's not just a place, it's not Starbucks. You just get coffee and run. We want people to hang out and be there and actually come to Siler. We help a lot with the third Friday. There's a music series that goes on down there. big part of that. Brooke actually does a lot of the sponsorship gathering for that.
Do you play in the band?
I do not.
You know, Greg
I
used
just
to
look
play
like I
in
do.
it. He was one of the Pressure Boys.
Yeah, and he's very impressed. You can tell.
I have all your vinyls.
Yeah,
I have all your 8 tracks.
So what do we
But
need?
so
What do
we still need places for people to literally do things. Restaurants are great to really go out to eat. We have a fair amount of retail. People are still continuing. I was talking to Val today. People are still putting retail in, but it might be a little bit selfish on my part. But I want people to have a reason to come downtown. So retail's good. Maybe a little bit nicer retail.
Well, South City in some ways has the same tug and pull that Pittsboro has because you got that intersection of the bypass 15501 is the new,
Yeah.
and then we have our old downtown Pittsboro.
Yeah.
You guys have your old downtown South City, but then you have 64, so it's
Yeah.
like a little tug of a war.
We need to
there.
make it a destination. That's the thing. So
right.
we need to try to fill downtown up with reasons for people to come down there and like find something interesting and
who
come.
owns that old hotel?
The Hadley?
Yeah.
It's Sawyer. Ace Hardware Sawyer, and
Yeah,
he
he
passed
owns quite a
away.
bit.
Well, he passed away a year or
that's
two
right,
ago.
right.
I actually had a conversation with a young man who came into town, sitting in the coffee shop, and started a conversation. And he's been sort of the way he put it. He's been put in charge of doing something with all the buildings that they own. And so he talked about they looked into the possibility of maybe fixing it up and doing something with it. I think that'd be
That
fantastic.
thing is so cool. Somebody needs to
He was in Rotary with me a long time ago, so and that's when Sour City Rotary Club was something to behold. You guys would not believe how it was, but he had a partner, Hobbs, and they were buying up real estate like crazy and everything. He said, "You need to buy more real estate, young man." Da, 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 da. And I was like, "I don't want to be in debt." And he's like, "Debt is a great motivator." That's that was a line that he told me that I remembered for a long time.
He also told her plastics.
Plastics. That's right, plastics. So what kind of impact do you think Wolfspeed's going to have on the area?
So obviously, we all hope it's going to be good. It's going to rising tide, lift boats, etc. You listen to people around town, you talk to them, and everybody's got a different opinion on what it's going to look like. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, we're jokingly, we're going to get rich, yay, Wolfspeed. But it is on the outskirts of town. It is on the way to Ashworth, so there's a certain element of people might migrate in that direction. But as more people come and live here to kind of support that, I'm hoping that it's going to just drive everything in this area. It's been how long? It broke ground.
The majority of the people that are working at Wolfspeed or transferring from other parts of the country are actually buying in Greensboro instead of Sour City.
That's a little bit of a
That was
concern.
weird when I looked at that demographics and everything. I was just like, wow, why aren't they buying in Sour City? But we don't
Maybe
have the
they're used to more
infrastructure.
of what they see in Greensboro than they do in Sour City.
We just don't. Yeah, it's more similar to what they're leaving and coming from.
Right.
We don't have any new construction subdivisions right now. I mean, we have the Sour City Country Club, which is great, but those are refurbished and redone.
I remember a piece of advice you gave me when I first. So I moved here from Manchapel Road,
this
which
had
is
to be
kind
smart
of.
advice.
But I was close to Chapel Hill, and so when I first came here, new homeowner or whatever, it's like this breaks, that breaks, I get to put in a fence. And Eric was like, "You got to stop thinking Chapel Hill. Like, stop heading towards Chapel Hill to solve your problems." It's like, obviously, look local, but even look west. Because you're in a new area now, but you get into these habits. Some people coming into town, I can see them saying like, "Where's the nearest big city? Oh, we're gonna go look at Greensboro." They check out Greensboro.
Yeah, I think so.
On some level, that can be good too, though, because the people who do come into Silent and do side settle this area, I like to think they're going to be a little bit better classic coast. They want to be here. They're not forced to come here because their job takes it here. So I think we'll get really good people.
Well, they're close enough, but it's still, like you said, you're. I like the place I live because you're close enough to everything, but you're still far enough from everything.
Well, and I don't mean
So
to
with that.
have a whole lot of stereotypes or generalizations here, but you think the people that are transferring to Wolfspeed, working at Wolfspeed, high-speed internet is going to be a huge concern to them, and outside of Siler, we don't have it. I mean, it's just, I have Starlink right now, which I think is absolutely great. We're happy with it. I got the Starlink. You and I both
Yeah,
are.
but he's not happy when that vulture comes and sits on his.
I got a vulture
dish.
that comes and lands on its Fred's wing in the morning and it got no
I
internet.
thought you got more internet than that.
Even Randolph Communications, Randolph Telephone,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
pushing
yeah.
hard in this area. I've had fiber at my house for
Yeah.
8 years.
Right.
They came all the way
That's
down
great.
like
Yeah.
that.
And see, I'm off of 421, and I asked them to come, and they said, "Yeah, it'll be $5,000." I was like, "Gosh, $5,000!" But it's 3 different buildings. I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." And they're like, "No, it's $5,000 each, so it's going to be $15,000." I was like, "Nah, I
Yeah,
can't do
no.
Yeah,
it."
that's
I've only met one guy who worked at Wolfspeed, and that was in Pittsboro at Havoc one afternoon. I asked him, He said he's from like Syracuse, New York. I think
Yeah,
is where
well,
he's
they
from.
have a sister plant there, right?
I don't know.
That's
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
he's
why.
from Syracuse,
Uh-huh.
and he lives in Greensboro. And I asked him why he
Right.
lived in Greensboro. He said, honestly, I flew into the Greensboro airport
Uh-huh.
and I drove to the work site. I didn't know Chatham existed. He
Right.
only figured that out when he drove 64
Yeah.
to go to Raleigh one day.
Good point. You come right down
He
421.
he said, he said, so we land in Greensboro, we drive to Wolfspeed. We don't know anything about Silo
I think
City.
Chatham Park will help them. And if you're a golfer, maybe Chapel Ridge or
Right.
something. But
I
yeah,
just-
it starts getting far.
If the Chamber of Commerce in Silo would go over there to Wolfspeed and say, hand out our brochures, because if they're not getting this direction, they don't even know it exists before they buy.
We have a Silo Chamber event tonight in the middle.
Yeah.
There's a lot of activity. It's a real
I was
Doesn't
gonna
the
say,
Chatham
yeah.
Chamber cover Silo?
It's a little.
There's been a schism.
Let me put it this way: the Silo area chamber is going to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to get beat up for this, but it's going to be a little bit more aggressive than the larger chamber, the Chatham County Chamber of Commerce.
Well, this county has always had like an east-west divide.
Always, yeah.
Always. And no one felt as though that the chamber was covering this side. Didn't matter where it was based or what their office was out of or whatever. So it's always been a tug of war in that regard. I really, really ignorantly thought that, oh no, I'll be able to bring, real estate and everything, but there's different views politically, there's different views socially, there's a lot of differences between east and west right now.
Well, there's also that sense when you're in Western Chatham that their voice isn't heard.
Oh yeah.
They feel that they're
It's not a
being
feeling.
over-
The reason
It's
why
a
they feel that way is because it's not.
Yeah, because two of their representatives are voted for by the other part of the county.
Yeah.
And if someone says that's not true, they're living in a fantasy land.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's just on the planning board and everything. I'm 5th district, so I'm western part of the county, and people are like, the differences that we have with like Farrington and Governor's Club and everything. They're like, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And I was like, look, you want rural integrity, you want farmers. Farmers have to be able to do another job besides farming to make a living, right? And that's what.
I remember when we went to the countywide zoning, the things they were talking about, just you can't do this,
Right.
you can't do this, and people are like, no,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
dual income. My cousin in Pamlico County is a farmer, and they do multiple things because that's the only way you're going to survive.